Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at the 9th anniversary EZAs, all the ones from the countdown part, all the way through the Part EX, quote-unquote, the bonus EZAs that have actually already come out on Global, those being Vegeta and Bootanks, but I will kind of condense them into this video to at least talk about them, because technically on JP they were part of the 9th anniversary, so potentially we could be seeing new characters coming into that slot, but who knows. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the EZAs for today. So the first character, you guys have already seen this guy's Extreme Z Awakening over on Global, and that is STRUI Goku. This character came out, I want to say, it was a couple days after the banners dropped, so you can see here it's the JP release date, but I'm in the JP database, so we have all the characters up. But the super attack effects have been changed nicely. They have greatly raised attack and defense, as well as raised attack and defense for one turn. On this specific, what's it called, on the 18 key and then the 12 key, and then he's giving allies attack plus 50% for one turn. So who is this character going to be the most valuable for, right? Here is his passive skill. I'm not going to get into reading every single one of these word for word, but just know kind of the cliff notes on this character is he needs to dodge in order to become super effective in terms of like a fight, and his evasion chance you'd think is really good, but the it's tough, right? Especially right now where there's not a lot of Universe 7 characters on the team that are ready to go. More about that later. But the state of this character, even in the sort of, you know, superheroes or reps of U7 team, it's tough to make a spot for this guy because often I find him selling pretty hard. Like, and I hate to say that, right? Because this was like the LR that kind of brought me back into Dokkan a little bit after the 5th year anniversary passed on JP. I was kind of just out of it, and then this guy came out, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to get back into this game, right? And it's like, it's not to say that this character is bad, but it is to say that this character is not perfect, and often loses me a lot of runs when I do use him. So it's not that he can't be used, it's the fact that he takes super normals and he dies. That's where things get a little bit tricky, but I think this EZA is very good, and one thing I forgot to mention is we will be ranking them and which one I think is the best at the end of the video, but one thing that you can always appreciate about a character is when they're on a lot of categories. 16 teams, that's a whole lot. So this character is very good, probably the worst of the bunch, unfortunately, but still a solid character. Let's move on to one that you guys have not gotten yet, so we can talk about it a little bit more, and that is going to be the Broly Trio. This is a solid character. The only thing I don't like about this character is the amount of teams they're on. But super bosses, this unit is going to fit in just fine, right? So here we go. This one we will read just so you guys understand, right? Attack and defense plus 30 per wow. Okay, we're gonna try that one again. Attack and defense plus 30% per key sphere obtained. Very nice. Additional, typo on Dokkan info, an additional attack and defense plus 10% per key sphere obtained, plus an additional key plus 2 per key sphere obtained. Very nice. All allies key 2, attack 39% with AGL or STR key spheres obtained, or you can give them defensive support with tech or int key spheres, or if you want to give them attack and defense, if you use rainbow key spheres, you get those. So if you use all different types of orbs with rainbows and stuff like that, you're going to be giving a lot of attack support, you're going to be giving a lot of defense support, and you're also going to be getting an additional attack plus 39% when launching a super attack. So very nice, right? We also get an additional super attack and damage reduced by 10% to all movie bosses or super bosses category allies. When the key meter is at 24, this character is getting extra key per key sphere obtained, so very easy to get them to 24 key. We have a high chance to dodge, and then we have a guaranteed dodge with 7 or more key spheres obtained, and being an orb changer, you guys can see right here, randomly changes a non-physical type key sphere to physical type key spheres when HP is 60% or lower, and you're going to be able to change the whole board to physical key spheres when you're at 39% or lower. This is a very good EZA, right? Not the best of the bunch. I'd actually say I don't know. This one's either the second worst or the third worst of the bunch, but this is a very good EZA, right? I think it is the second worst of the bunch, but that is to say that this is a solid unit, right? There's a sizable jump between the Broly Trio and this UI Goku. And so the next unit I have on the list here, go figure, this is almost in order, but like chronologically, but we have this EZA right here, which is going to be one of the more important ones of this 9th anniversary, and that is going to be the Physical Blue Boy, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Kaioken, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. So what does he do? Or what do they do? They massively raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause mega colossal damage, and greatly lower the enemy's attack and defense on their 18 key. And then they are going to be greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, and then causing colossal damage and lower attack and defense. So you guys can see the effects here. We have a 100% attack and defense raise on the 18 key, and then we are going to be lowering attack by 30%, which is the important part of this bit. And then a 50% increase to attack and defense on the 12 key, which you're going to be doing multiple of, and then doing a lowering of the attack of 20%. So by the time you've double supered, you've lowered the enemy's attack by 50%, and any extra additional supers is going to be helpful as well for this character. So this passive is going to be a bit, but we'll get through it. Let's go ahead and read this one too. We have key +4 and then 170% to attack and defense at the start of the turn, and then we have randomly changes a type key sphere into rainbow key spheres if there's another superheroes category ally on the team. Very easy to get. An additional 7% attack and defense per key sphere obtained, very easy to get as well, and then a 7% critical chance damage reduction and guaranteed additional attack with a high chance for it to be a super attack per rainbow key sphere. So max 3 attacks per turn, but if we just get a bunch of rainbow key spheres, this character is going to be looking very good, right? Then we get an additional key +2 per rainbow key sphere obtained, again, very easy to get, and then an additional attack and defense plus 70% when the key meter is 18 or more. Now, when we get to the 24 key, we are going to be able to perform a critical hit when the key meter is at the 24, and then we are once only going to be reducing damage received by 70% when HP is 50% or lower. So when is HP 50% or lower, we get this active skill right here, which is going to give us a guaranteed 24 key and then attack plus 70%, and then we are going to be losing 50% of our defense, but in order to counteract that, we are going to be getting a damage reduction of 70%. So this is a solid EZA, right? And then looking at this character, they are very similar to what we looked at with UI Goku, where they are going to be on 13 teams. So a lot of categories that you could run this guy on, but Reps of Universe 7 and Superheroes are going to be the 2 main teams for this character. Realm of Gods they could also work on, but this is definitely like, you know, when I say the 3rd worst EZA of the bunch, that is like a good thing, right? This is still like a top 9 to 12 unit in the game, even on JP still. This is a very good EZA. So there we go. That is the physical Blue Boys. Hope everything makes sense. You know, they link up pretty well with like Kaioken Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, the God Duo, whatever you guys need, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next one on this list. And here we have Ultra Instinct Goku, my favorite EZA of the bunch, but unfortunately I don't believe is going to be the best of the group here. But we have AGL Ultra Instinct Goku. So what does he do? Let's go ahead and look, shall we? On his 18 key super attack, we have a massively raises attack for 1 turn. We cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. We have a high chance of performing a critical hit for 1 turn, more on that later, and then raises all allies' chance of performing a critical hit by 7% for 2 turns. So this support is going to go over to the next turn as well for the other characters. So the 12 key greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy, high chance of performing a critical hit for 1 turn, same effect, and then raises all allies' chance for the crit by 7% for 1 turn. So I believe those supports are on top of each other. So if you're doing 2 to 3 supers, that is going to be a lot of crit chance support. So let's go ahead and look at the passive skill. You guys can see this is a book. So we'll try and go quick here. Key +7 evades enemy attack for 1 turn upon entering attacking turn. So the turn that they enter the battlefield, they are going to be getting guaranteed dodges, which is huge. Attack and defense 200% at the start of turn, plus an additional attack and defense plus 77% when HP is 77% or more. Turn 1, guaranteed dodge, you're always going to have that. Unless they disable dodge for some reason turn 1, which I can't recall if there's any bosses that do that off the top of my head. That just disable dodge right off the get-go. But chance of launching an additional super attack and chance of evading enemies attack, 77%, including super attack, very nice. And then additional chance of evading enemies attack plus 7% within the same turn for every attack evaded. So once you get like 4 dodges, you're essentially ready to go. You're over 100% at that point. Plus an additional key +2 up to 10 and defense +30 up to 150% for every attack evaded. Very nice when you get that built up as well. And then plus an additional attack +77% and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. And that is very easy to get, believe it or not. Just based on the key links and stuff like that with the characters you're going to be linking this character with, they are not going to make that hard whatsoever. So if HP is 77% at the less of the character's HP is 77% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn, you revive with 77% HP recovered when the ally or when the character or an ally attacking the same turn is KO'd. So that is much easier to get than what it used to be, where you'd have to take 3 hits. And key +7 and attack plus defense 77%, starting from the turn in which the character or an ally's revival skill is activated, and then we get guaranteed dodges on that turn when you revive as well. So very good stuff. And then we go to the active skill, can be activated when HP is 50% or more from the 4th turn. And then when we do this one, we are greatly raising attack temporarily, and then causes ultimate damage to the enemy. So, again, this character on 18 teams, very nice. But one thing you need to know, you have guaranteed crits every time you have a 24 key super attack, which is not hard to get with this character, and then those additionals are always going to be crits as well. So this character is just like a crit machine, a dodge machine, and then you can revive when the HP is 77% or below, entering that certain threshold, right? So that is why this character is going to be the second best EZA of the group, and then let's move on to the best EZA of the group, and that is going to be Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, in concept, this character is basically like identical to UI Goku, but instead of it being dodging that he's doing, it is the damage reduction and guard that this character potentially has, and that is why he is more consistent than UI Goku. There's going to be less times where this character loses you a run than when UI Goku does lose you a run, but when we want to talk about building up and stuff like that, these characters are extremely similar in the way that the role that they serve, right? So their super attacks, I'm not going to talk about. It's literally the same thing as UI Goku, but they look different. So one thing that we do have to notice, though, that's actually a bit of a lie. I didn't mean to lie to you, but I did. Instead of raising attack on this one right here, we are going to be getting... So Goku has a 100% raise to his attack, and then Vegeta has a 50% attack to his... raising his attack and defense. I'm sorry, English is hard. And then we have the high chance of performing a critical hit. These will be guaranteed if they're additionals right here, and this one will be guaranteed as well on 24 key. So this character is going to be raising his defense on super rather than just raising his attack, right? But the damage multipliers and the critical supports are going to be the same. So keep that in mind. Now, again, we're going to move through this pretty quick because it's basically the same thing as UI Goku, but words are a little bit different. Key 7 guards all attacks for 1 turn. Very nice. Attack and defense plus 200%, and then we are going to be getting reduces damage received by 50% baseline. That's unconditional, so very nice. And then plus an additional damage reduction of 10% within the same turn with each attack for received or evaded. So every time this character is hit, like, you know, an enemy attacks or attempts to attack this Vegeta, he's going to getting 10% up to 30% damage reduction. So after 3 attacks, 3 normals that do no damage, this character has 80% damage reduction for the next super, right? So the next point, key plus 3 up to 10, and then attack and defense plus 30% up to 120% with each attack performed. Very nice. Launches an additional attack, which has a 77% chance of becoming a super attack. Very good. Plus an additional attack plus 77% and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. So very similar to UI Goku with the 24 key. So on 24 key, every attack or every super attack he does is going to be a crit. At the start of the character's attacking turn, after the character receives attack 5 or more times in battle, easy to do when you have him in slot 1, revives a 77% HP recovered when the character or an ally attacking the same turn is KO'd. Again, very easy to do. Key plus 7 and attack and defense plus 77% starting from the turn in which the character or an ally's revival skill is activated. Very nice. And then we have the same effect as we do as turn 1, where we are going to be guarding all attacks within the character's next turn after the character's revival skill is activated. So very similar skeleton to UI Goku with just a couple different things. And then we cause mega colossal damage to all enemies, so we get an AoE on his active skill, and it can be activated when HP is 50% or more from the start of turn. So, or from the 4th turn from the start of battle. So very similar character to UI Goku, but instead they're on 17 teams rather than 18. And that'll basically do it for all of the EZAs during the 9th year anniversary that are major. So again, number 1, Evolution Blue Vegeta. Number 2, UI Goku. Number 3, Evo Ken. Number 4, Broly Trio. Number 5, UI Goku. Now, quickly, we'll do some honorable mentions for the Vegito and Bootanks. These are characters that EZA during the 9-year anniversary over on JP, but they won't be on global, so that leaves us a little bit of time to speculate. Who do we think it'll be, boys? Do we think they're even B part, or do they just keep moving? In my opinion, they're just going to keep moving, unfortunately, but at least you guys already got those EZAs on global. So let me know down below what you guys think of these characters. Are you excited for them to EZA over on global and all of that fun stuff? If you did enjoy today's breakdown and analysis, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content going forward. We're going to be continuing to pump stuff out throughout the 9th anniversary. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.